Hi guys, coming live post-workout. I just wanted to answer a question about chin position and neck position in lifting. It's come up a lot actually this week. A couple lift labbers had the question of when to tuck the chin. My online personal training clients who I do Skype sessions with, which is totally available to you if you want to ask some questions about that, and my in-person clients. So I felt like it was like synchronicity at its best. Sorry that I can't speak. I just finished a really hard workout outside. So, okay, let's talk about, first of all, neutrality and neutral spine, right? Neutral spine is key. It is our like be all end all default position in everything we do. We want a neutral spine in push-ups, in planks, in bent over rows. We want it in push-ups. We want it in deadlifts, in squats, everything. Neutral is default, right? Default mode, autopilot. So just to review the basics on neutral spine, right? It there's a relationship between the rib cage and the pelvis, right? And you can think of it like bowls or domes, right? The top of your rib cage and the kind of pelvic girdle here, the floor of your pelvis, and think of your pelvic bone, right? It's kind of a bowl shape, right? So think of this nice little can, this canister, right? So if I stand, this is my default position. I tend to really arch my back, stick my butt out, and tilt my pelvis forward, which opens my rib cage, right? That is stretching my abs long. That is doing nothing for my core stability, right? In fact, it's actually weakening my core because it's stretching along, it's not engaging, and it's weakening my glutes, my twerk muscles, right? So we want to, if you live in that position, boop, this position, anterior pelvic tilt, for those of you who are nerds out there, anterior pelvic tilt, we just want to think about bringing our hips underneath us. So it's like a little dial, tucking our hips up and under, squeezing our glutes. Inhale in through the nose, exhale out through the mouth, and close the ribs, right? So now our abs are braced, our ribs are down, not flared open, but our ribs are down. Our pelvis is neutral, and now look what happens with my back. I went from this to this, right? So now I'm nice and neutral, and this is what we want in push-ups. Now what happens when I look forward in my push-ups, right? My neck is still part of my spine, right? So now I've just thrown myself out of my neutrality. I've thrown myself out of alignment. So if you're doing push-ups and you're looking forward, what happens, right? We tend to lose contact with our abs, boom, and then we lose sight of that neutrality, lose contact with our abs, and it becomes very hard and difficult, A, to build a strong core, and B, to maintain neutral. Your lower back might start to ache. Even if it doesn't start to ache, it still won't benefit you in the long run for that core strength, right? So you can apply that position, that neutral position, rib cage and chin tucked, right, to everything you do. Goblet squat. You want that neutral spine, chin tucked, looking out of your eyelids, sort of like a serial killer or an evil queen, right? If we pull here, right, what instantly happens? Boom, all of a sudden I go into this arch position. We want the ribs to stay nice and tucked, our back to stay nice and neutral. Same with a deadlift, right? So we're deadlifting. You want to look out your eyelids again, but we don't want to crank forward, because what happens, right? I'm neutral, boom. I crank forward, all of a sudden I've got this arch in my back. Guess where I'm putting all of the weight and the load when I go to lift 300 pounds off the ground, right? My low back. And that's just not worth it, right? You're gonna pop your spine. So, finding that neutral position, packing the chin, hinging forward, looking toward the horizon is okay in the deadlift position, right? You're looking at your eyelids, but we're not cranking here. There's a difference. Tucking the chin, boom. And then all you have to do, keep your eyes exactly where they are, somewhere where the wall meets the floor, and then stand. And now you're still in that tucked neutral position. Same deal for bent over rows. Boom, right? We don't want to go here because now we're putting all the work in our low back. We want the work in our upper back and our core, because our core is what's stabilizing us in the hinge position. So try to apply that tucked chin literally to everything. There was a question about like chaturanga. I'm like, why do we look forward in chaturanga? I'm not a yogi, but what I do know about yoga, and please correct me if I'm wrong, but chaturanga is sort of a transition, right? It's a flow into a next pose. We're not repping it out there in that cranked neck spine position, throwing ourselves out of alignment. So I think if you think of it more as a transition and a flow versus like rep based, right? That should help you kind of discern the difference. But packing the chin, no, it doesn't look cute, right? You're packing the chin, but guess what happens? I mean, I'm so close to the video, I'm sorry, it's hard to see. But if I'm here, right, it throws my whole body out of alignment. If you're a person who tends to be here and you're still jutting out your chin, well then it's only going to emphasize this rounded shoulder position. So wherever you live, if you live in anterior pelvic tilt or posterior pelvic tilt, sticking out the chin is like not helpful, right? And what do we do all the time? We're on our phones all the time, and our chin is in that forward position. So try your best when you're training for that 1 hour a day, 45 minutes a day, 30 minutes a day. Recognize that's not a lot of time to reinforce this neutral position, but the more you can do it, walking at the grocery store with your groceries, right? Picking up your kids, whatever. The more you can practice that neutral spine, the better. Tucking that chin, getting that nice little double chin situation there. It's gonna do wonders for your abs and your back health. I hope that helped, guys.